From the nation's capital, Eye on Washington with Marilee Joyce. A weekly discussion about the federal issues most important to Nevada. And now, from Washington, D.C., here's Marilee Joyce.
Well, good day to you. I'm Marilee Joyce. This is Eye on Washington. It's the only statewide Nevada news program produced in Washington, D.C. Every week, Eye on Washington takes you straight to Capitol Hill for a discussion with Nevada's delegation and other leaders about the federal matters that matter most to you. Today's topic, gaming's expansion around the nation and around the globe. A look at MGM Resort International's newest venture, what it means to MGM, the gaming industry, and Nevada's economy. And my very special guests today are Mr. Lorenzo Creighton, the president and CEO of MGM National Harbor, and former Nevada U.S. Congressman, Mr. Stephen Horsford. The congressman now owns the communication firm R&R Resources Plus, which is leading the brand markets for MGM National Harbor, and his firm also represents the American Gaming Association. And thanks so much to both of you for being here today.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Well, when casino tycoon Kirk Kerkorian bought the controlling stake in Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer Film Studio in 1960 and then led the studio into the gaming industry with the opening of MGM Grand Casino in 1973, could he have foreseen MGM's and all of gaming's national and international expansion? Well, today on Eye on Washington, we're going to look at the gaming industry's expansion across the country and around the world. We'll look at MGM Grand National Harbor and what this Maryland-based resort means to MGM and the gaming industry in general. And we're going to introduce you to Mr. Creighton and also learn what the congressman has been up to since leaving Capitol Hill. Well, it was back in 1931 when freshman Nevada State Assemblyman Phil Tobin introduced Assembly Bill number 98, which allowed for wide-opening gambling. In March of that year, the bill was signed into law by Governor Fred Balzar. The legislation allowed the rise of gaming industry and regulated modern casino as we know it today. Here's some trivia for you. In 1931, the first gaming license in Las Vegas awarded to Mamie Stoker of Northern Club on Fremont Street, and the Riverside Hotel on Virginia Street got the first gaming license awarded in Reno. That latter hotel got a lot of its business not just from gambling, but from what? The growing divorce industry. So, Mr. Creighton, we've got a lot to get to today, of course. But I thought we'd spend this first segment just looking at gaming's growth in general and what that expansion has meant to the Nevada economy.
Well, you know, it's a good opportunity for companies like MGM to expand into new markets, and it also creates new customers for Las Vegas. But, you know, the property that we're going to open, MGM National Harbor, on December 8th, is a perfect example of that type of expansion. What better than to be right next to Washington, D.C., and to have a showcase property of this magnitude that close to D.C. And it's a good opportunity for us to showcase the brand as well as show the quality of a product that we could build outside of Las Vegas.
And we're excited to tell our statewide viewers and listeners all about it. I've got tons of details coming up later in the show. And speaking of telling people about it, Congressman, when you left the Hill, of course, a lot of people missed you, but you said, you know what, I've got another idea. I'm going to join up with R&R and start my own communications firm. Now you have R&R Resources Plus, which not only handles brand marketing for MGM National Harbor, also communications firm for American Gaming Association, and the gaming AGA, lobbyist in here in D.C. for the gaming industry, is very focused on advocating for federal legislation that strongly supports Nevada's top industry. As gaming grows, what are some of the main focuses of recent gaming efforts here on the Hill?
Well, as you know, I've been a proponent of Nevada's largest industry, gaming, from my days serving as the head of the Culinary Training Academy and Nevada Partners. And I saw firsthand how this industry partners with local community organizations to help individuals get the training, the support, and the job placement to participate in this industry. And Nevada has been the model for that. And with the leadership of people like Lorenzo Creighton, those models are now being adopted in these new jurisdictions. So a lot of my focus is around workforce training, making sure that we have a diverse workforce, in these new jurisdictions that are opening up, as well as helping suppliers and vendors and companies, minority, women, veteran-owned businesses also find an opportunity to do business. So that's a big priority for the American Gaming Association, as it is for companies like MGM Resorts.
And speaking again of MGM Resorts and your work together, I thought it was a lot of fun to put you two together on this show. How not ironic, how coincidental is it that, you know, we have Mr. Creighton, who was based in Las Vegas or in Nevada for so long, which we're going to get to later in the program, a former congressman. The two of you knew each other. The two of you now are working together because of your ownership of R&R Resources Plus, being the brand marketing firm for the MGM Harbor. Tell us more about that effort.
Well, through, the leadership of Mr. Creighton and the team at MGM National Harbor, we were selected as one of the agencies to help them brand, communicate, do outreach on behalf of the property. And so for more than a year and a half now, we've been working side by side as partners in Prince George's County, Maryland,
sure.
Talking about all the great opportunities that this project is going to bring to that community and to the state of Maryland. And as Lorenzo just said, the benefit that returns to Las Vegas, because the DMV customers want that Las Vegas experience, and no one can match Las Vegas like Las Vegas.
Absolutely. Please expand on that, as well as to tell us, I know the brand marketing efforts are going well, because I hear, you know, here in the Washington area where I live, so much radio, television, etc., information on it. But tell us about other efforts for it.
Well, it was a natural getting with R&R Resources Plus, because I had an opportunity to work with Billy Vasiliadis back many years ago when I ran Flamingo, and I knew Stephen from a long time ago, and I thought it was just a natural
sure.
For MGM National Harbor to bring them in because two known commodities for me, and they've done an excellent job in getting our brand positioned in this market.
Excellent. When we return, we're going to look at MGM Resorts' exciting new project, the MGM National Harbor, and why Nevadans should hope it succeeds. We're going to tell you all that next.
You're watching Eye on Washington with Marilee Joyce, brought to you by Caesars Entertainment, Las Vegas Sands Corporation, the Regional Transportation Commission of Washoe County, Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority, the Regional Transportation Commission of Southern Nevada, Jim Marsh Automotive, the Rogich Communications Group, and by Champion Chevrolet Reno.
Safety. We all think about it. You think about it when he buckles in, when you check your mirrors and put away your phone. RTC thinks about safety too. In fact, we create it. Center turn lanes mean fewer blind spots. Bike lanes keep cyclists and you safe. Roundabouts reduce injury collisions, and all these crosswalks are designed to keep families like yours safe. Safety is your priority, and it's ours too. Every day, in everything we do.
Want more federal news that affects Nevada, its businesses, and its residents? Then you need to subscribe to Nevada's Washington Watch newsletter, your sole source of online news direct from Washington, D.C. Visit joycecommunications.com and subscribe today.
Planet Hollywood, Paris, Harrah's, Caesar's Palace. It's one of the most exciting skylines in the world, Las Vegas. Caesars Entertainment has nearly 50 casinos worldwide, including these. But no matter which casino you visit, we want you to play responsibly. And if you need help setting or keeping a limit, we hope you'll call this number. You see, we know you're coming to our casinos to have a good time, and we always want you to leave feeling like you did.
How long have we been married there?
For 76 years.
He was kind and generous to me before we married, and he was kind and generous to me all these years. We decided on Meals on Wheels because I was getting to the point where I couldn't do all the things that I had been able to do. We're the Spans. America, let's do lunch.
Drop off a hot meal and say hello. Volunteer by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
And welcome back to Eye on Washington, our discussion of MGM Resorts coming MGM National Harbor and why it matters to Nevada's economy. My special guests today are Mr. Lorenzo Creighton, the president and CEO of MGM National Harbor, and former Congressman Stephen Horsford. He's owns R&R Resources Plus firm, which is heading brand marketing for the Harbor Project. Well, let's look now at MGM's latest project. The MGM National Harbor is a $1.3 billion resort located in Prince George's County, Maryland. It's one resort with a multitude of pieces. It's got a 3,000-seat arena designed to host concerts, headliners, and boxing, a 21-story, 308-room luxury hotel, a 26,582 square foot spa and salon, 12 restaurants, roughly 20,000 square feet of high-end retail, nearly 28,000 square feet of conference space, and of course a huge casino boasting more than 3,300 video lottery terminals and 160 table games. Pretty exciting, Mr. Creighton. Tell us some more.
No, it's an exciting project. When you see this project, one thing that impresses you when you go inside is that it would be competitive on the Las Vegas Strip. The quality of the fit and the finish and the quality of the rooms and the product is just, over the top in comparison to anything that you would see anywhere close in this market. Everyone that walks through the property is just blown away by the quality of it. For example, the atrium, which is kind of modeled after the whole concept of the Bellagio atrium,
Sure.
but it's bigger and it's 2 stories, and it is just so impressive, and it'll be a must-see in this market.
It's on track to open
December 8th.
Before the end of the year. Wow.
So we're excited about that, and we've got a great entertainment schedule. Bruno Mars, December 27th. So we've got some great things coming at that project.
Congressman, tell us more about how R&R Resources Plus is working alongside Mr. Creighton on this project.
Well, with Lorenzo and his team, we have been partnering with them on a number of key initiatives, one of which is the phenomenal art program that they will have showcased as part of the property, and making sure that the local artists and the national artists who are acclaimed are showcased. That's been a big part of the vision of Jim Murin, the chairman, CEO of MGM Resorts, and as part of the qualities that make this a fully integrated resort. It's much more than...
And where would they be placed?
Throughout the entire property.
Yeah, we commissioned, and Jim's vision about really being a part of the communities that we do business, and we commissioned several artists, some African-American artists. There's one woman who has done this mural made out of mud from the local, the site where we actually built the facility. And there's another mosaic that was done by a local artist. So we've got some.
And those are there now?
Absolutely, they're in place. They're actually pretty much done for all practical purposes.
You know, Mr. Creighton, your general manager, Mr. Bill Boasberg, told the press, quote, "Once it's built, if you put it in the middle of the Strip, it would be one of the best resorts on the Strip." Tell us more.
You know, he is exactly right. It is a beautiful property and extremely well done and designed. And look, some of the things that we looked at in casino projects over the years, we made them better in this project. And great food outlets, great art, great flow into the property. And the tower itself is this all glass tower that kind of replicates the Washington Monument. And it has this fretted glass that glows at night, and the steps look like a plinth. It's a really, really well thought out, well designed facility, property.
Good chefs coming?
Great chefs. We have Jose Andres from DC, and no longer with Mr. Trump. We have Marcus Samuelson out of Harlem. Great restaurateur out of Harlem. We also have the brothers Voltaggio. So this is the first restaurant where the 2 brothers got together and did a restaurant. So, and a great food hall emporium that will have a lot of local favorites like Papa's crab cakes. So.
We're out of time for this segment, but we ought to point out, Nevada certainly knows the word recession, and Nevadans who don't know a lot about the National Harbor project, this is a big, happy revival story. The National Harbor opened 8 years ago in the middle of the recession. And when you look at 8 years later, this big project coming now, it's kind of a out of the ashes, beautiful, great.
No, I mean, it's really done well for the region in anticipation of the project opening. A lot of new restaurants, retails in the area, really just in anticipation of this project. We call it the rising tide. So it really helped the community.
When we return, gaming's national and international expansion, why Nevadans should pay attention. It's coming up next.
Nevada's direct link to Capitol Hill. Eye on Washington with Marilee Joyce. The only statewide Nevada news show based in Washington, D.C. All the top federal matters that matter most to Nevadans. Marilee talks with our congressional delegation and other leaders about the federal news you need to know. Eye on Washington with Marilee Joyce. Nevada's Eye on Capitol Hill.
Safety. We all think about it. You think about it when he buckles in, when you check your mirrors and put away your phone. RTC thinks about safety too. In fact, we create it. Center turn lanes mean fewer blind spots. Bike lanes keep cyclists and you safe. Roundabouts reduce injury collisions. And all these crosswalks are designed to keep families like yours safe. Safety is your priority, and it's ours too. Every day, in everything we do.
We're not a miracle drug. We're not a technology. We're not doctors. Just the hope, which can often be the best cure of all. The Ronald McDonald House, a home away from home for seriously ill children and their families.
Planet Hollywood, Paris, Harrah's, Caesar's Palace. It's one of the most exciting skylines in the world, Las Vegas. Caesars Entertainment has nearly 50 casinos worldwide, including these. But no matter which casino you visit, we want you to play responsibly. And if you need help setting or keeping a limit, we hope you'll call this number. You see, we know you're coming to our casinos to have a good time, and we always want you to leave feeling like you did.
This girl is very pretty. It's inciting feelings of jealousy in me. We should pick on her.
I'm insecure about some things, so I think we should put some me stuff on here. Maybe even some lies, too.
Yeah.
I just want to be accepted by you both. So I'm going to send this to my friends so they think I'm cool.
Kids bully for all kinds of reasons. None of them are good. Find ways to get involved at flipthescriptnow.org.
And welcome back to Eye on Washington, our look at MGM Resorts' continued national and international expansion. My guests today are Mr. Lorenzo Creighton, the president and CEO of MGM National Harbor, and former Nevada U.S. Congressman Stephen Horsford. The congressman's firm is handling brand marketing for Mr. Creighton's Prince George's County, Maryland-based project. So what do MGM, Las Vegas Sands Corporation, Caesars Entertainment, Boyd's Gaming, Wynn Resorts have in common? Well, you might not visit their Nevada properties and think of them, or you might visit the Nevada properties, think of them as your local casino. But these actually are gigantic corporations with projects spread across the nation and around the globe. In just the case of MGM Resorts International, there are properties in Nevada, Maryland, Michigan, New Jersey, Massachusetts, Illinois, and China. Caesars Entertainment, properties in 8 U.S. states, as well as Canada, the UK, Egypt, and South Africa. Las Vegas Sands owns hotels in Nevada, Pennsylvania, China, and Singapore, just to name a few. And Congressman, now you've served in politics for most of your working years, and a big part of Nevada politics focused on gaming. It is the economic engine of the state. But right now, the industry associated with Nevada's has grown far beyond its borders, hasn't it?
Well, it has, and while we will continue to be the engine that drives Nevada's economy, and I know through the governor and other legislative efforts, they're continuing to diversify Nevada's economy with other industries to help grow the state. The expansion of gaming throughout the United States and throughout the world, as you noted, is all modeled really after the Nevada experience. The regulations that are in place, many of the state laws that are in place, most of the major operators who are headquartered in Las Vegas are responsible for the tremendous expansion that occurs. And this is all about, job opportunity, business development, the amount of economic investment that goes into one of these properties is tremendous.
Mr. Creighton, why should a Nevada viewer or listener paying attention to this program statewide, why should it care about LV Sands, Caesars, MGM property that's on the other side of the globe from where they are?
Well, it strengthens Las Vegas, that relationship
Nevada
between
as a whole as well.
Nevada as a whole. It strengthens the Nevada economy by having these satellite properties in places like in Maryland, where MGM National Harbor is. We have 68,000 employees who are all tied together. And that esprit de corps, as well as the common culture that has been created with MGM, is exported back and forth. And so it's a win-win-win all the way around for the Nevada economy.
You have, you mentioned the Flamingo. You have a long history in Nevada as a leader there in gaming. Is the MGM National Harbor project the first one you've seen through from dirt to completion? It's the first one that I've seen through with MGM. I actually ran MGM Detroit shortly after it opened, so I had an opportunity to run that property also. And albeit similar, but different markets. But MGM National Harbor, I came in 2012, and we did the referendum, and 4 years later, we're essentially opening the property. So yes, for that 4-year period. Thank you. When we return, we're going to meet my guests and find out what they think needs to be done on Capitol Hill to strengthen and support gaming. We're going to find out a lot more about them too, and that is just ahead.
Planet Hollywood, Paris, Harrah's, Caesar's Palace. It's one of the most exciting skylines in the world, Las Vegas. Caesars Entertainment has nearly 50 casinos worldwide, including these. But no matter which casino you visit, we want you to play responsibly. And if you need help setting or keeping a limit, we hope you'll call this number. You see, we know you're coming to our casinos to have a good time, and we always want you to leave feeling like you did.
Nevada's direct link to Capitol Hill. Eye on Washington with Marilee Joyce. The only statewide Nevada news show based in Washington, D.C. All the top federal matters that matter most to Nevadans. Marilee talks with our congressional delegation and other leaders about the federal news you need to know. Eye on Washington with Marilee Joyce. Nevada's Eye on Capitol Hill.
Did you know dragging chains can spark a wildfire?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Safety. We all think about it. You think about it when he buckles in, when you check your mirrors and put away your phone. RTC thinks about safety too. In fact, we create it. Center turn lanes mean fewer blind spots. Bike lanes keep cyclists and you safe. Roundabouts reduce injury collisions. And all these crosswalks are designed to keep families like yours safe. Safety is your priority, and it's ours too. Every day, in everything we do.
Having your child hospitalized can be a terrifying experience for any parent. In one moment, everything can change. Here at the Reno Ronald McDonald House, we can help. We keep families together when it matters the most by providing a home away from home for families with children in the hospital. Parents who stay at the Ronald McDonald House have more time with their children during the healing process. Please contact us today for more information and to see how you can help. Donate online at rmhc-reno.org.
Want more federal news that affects Nevada, its businesses, and its residents? Then you need to subscribe to Nevada's Washington Watch newsletter, your sole source of online news direct from Washington, D.C. Visit joycecommunications.com and subscribe today.
And we are back with our closing segment of today's show on the MGM National Harbor Project and gaming's continued expansion across the country and around the world. We've been visiting with Mr. Lorenzo Creighton, the president and CEO of MGM National Harbor, and former Nevada U.S. Congressman Stephen Horsford. So just who are my guests? Well, Lorenzo Creighton is the president of MGM National Harbor Project now, but he has a long and largely Nevada-based gaming industry background. He was the first African American to be named as president of a major Las Vegas casino resort. He has 20-plus years of experience in government affairs, gaming regulatory agencies, casino operations. And Mr. Stephen Horsford's a former Nevada U.S. Congressman who served Nevada's 4th Congressional District from 2013 to 2015. And prior to that, he was a longtime member of the Nevada State Senate. And following his term on Capitol Hill, as we've said, he opened the communications firm R&R Resources Plus. Mr. Creighton, you have come a long way. I have a quote from Mr. Jim Murin, chairman and CEO of MGM Resorts International, who we talked about earlier. He said, quote, Lorenzo Creighton is one of the most highly respected leaders in the resort and casino profession. How are you bringing all that past leadership to your role here?
Well, it's just the wealth of experience over the years, and you have an opportunity to avail yourself of all of the things that you've learned. Coming into a new jurisdiction like the DMV can be challenging, and so working through the regulatory, local issues, and ultimately building the resort. So it all kind of came together.
You know, former Congressman Horsford, this is a show. We look at federal issues as well as issues in general that Nevadans care about. I do want to close out today's show letting you tell us regarding not just this project, but regarding just gaming in general, what are some of the priorities on the Hill regarding gaming, and how have the gaming issues on the Hill changed in just the short time you've been away?
Well, first, gaming is like every other major business industry. They have issues and concerns around workforce, taxation, regulation issues, and so as the American Gaming Association, they are the voice here at the federal level to make sure members of Congress and senators understand, and federal agencies understand, the important role that this industry plays in its economic investment in employees and in the economies where those projects operate throughout this country. And so what's different now than just a few years ago is that we are growing and expanding. This industry is investing more and more, and so that's why their voice is so important here in Washington, D.C.
Mr. Creighton, great to have you on the show today. Congressman, don't be a stranger. Good to have you on again.
Thank you so much.
That does wrap up this week's Eye on Washington show. We are always here for you, though, providing all the federal news Nevadans need to know. Just go to our website, joycecommunications.com. While you're there, be sure to like us on Facebook, follow me on Twitter, and catch up with any shows you may have missed on our YouTube page. That is it for this week. Thanks for joining us on Eye on Washington. I'm Marilee Joyce in Washington, D.C. I hope you have a great day today.